Well, hello again. This is Ray Morales for the Blind Spot. I'm so glad that you're here with me. And my guest today is Corrine Nero. Hi, Corrine. How are you?
Hi, Ray. I'm doing great.
Good. Can you tell my listeners who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. So, as Ray mentioned, my name is Corrine Nero. I am the area sales manager for OrCam. So, I cover the Midwest, about 5 states in the Midwest:
Great. What states are those?
Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and North and South Dakota.
Okay. So, all you veterans out there who are looking to get in touch with Corinne about getting some OrCam advice, please give her a jingle. So, Corinne, tell me more about OrCam.
Well, Ray, OrCam is a assistive technology company that is designed for individuals with low vision, blindness, or reading difficulty. So we carry 3 devices. The main function of those devices is to read printed material. They have quite a few other capabilities, which can really be a great tool for somebody. And that because we have 3 different devices, we have tools that will really work for anybody.
Cool. Can you give us a rundown on those devices?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So our original device, which was the first to come out, it came out in about 2015. It's called the OrCam My Eye. It is a wearable unit. So you actually will clip it onto any pair of glasses. And it's about the size, it's probably smaller than my index finger. So it's a really nice and small, sleek device. You can kind of put it on or take it off as much as you need to. And it basically kind of uses your nose as a guiding line to capture images. So if there's text that you are facing, you can control the device multiple different ways. You can use vocal commands, you can use gestures by tapping the device, or hand gestures. And essentially, it's going to capture an image of what's in front of you. And if there's text there, it's going to automatically read it back to you aloud. Works really well, so you can kind of navigate the text. You could play and pause it. There's an interactive mode, which allows you to ask questions so you can hear specific content. So instead of just reading everything from top to bottom on a page, you can tell it to find something specific. So if, let's say you're reading a bill, you could say find the amount, and it's just going to read the total amount due. So it just really helps with efficiency and while you're reading. It has quite a few other capabilities in addition to reading text. I think one of the most popular is the ability for it to recognize faces. So a lot of times when you have low vision or you're blind, it's really tough to identify people by their voice. And so the OrCam allows you to actually save up to 100 faces into the unit, so that, let's say you program me into your OrCam. If I pass in front of you and that OrCam can see my face, it's going to automatically identify my name for you. So that's a really, really handy feature. It can identify products. It can identify colors, money, and something that is really, really new that most people aren't going to be aware of yet, because it's not even released to the public yet. But hopefully by the end of the month, we're going to have a feature called What's in Front of Me. I don't even have it on my device yet, but from what I've seen, and I've kind of worked with the team a bit, it's really, really amazing. So you can ask the device what's in front of you, and it is going to give you some pretty detailed information on the environment that you're looking at.
Well,
And
that's
so
awesome.
yeah, it's really cool. What's even neat about it, comparing it to some of the other devices, is that it allows you to ask like follow-up questions.
Oh,
So
cool.
let's say you asked what's in front of me and there was a table there. You could then say what's on the table, and then it would describe the objects that are there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to have some great features. Those should hopefully be out this month. So that's the My Eye. And then we have an OrCam Read, which is a handheld device. That one's used a little bit differently just because you're holding it. But the capabilities are a little bit different too. So same thing. This one has the ability to read text, but you're going to point the device at the text. You press a button, and then it's going to capture the picture. So the device is about the size of like a large marker or like a highlighter. It has the same interactive mode where you can ask it specific content, like find the amount, or find chicken if you're reading a menu. And then it can also identify products by the barcode and currency.
Okay, so that's mainly for a low vision person, right?
That's a good point, Ray. It's because you're pointing it can be a little bit more challenging for somebody who's totally blind to use it. What's really, really great about OrCam is they're kind of a customer forward company. So as our team realized that this was a challenge for somebody who is totally blind, they came out with a tabletop stand for the device. And so basically it's a pretty sleek stand too. It's portable, it doesn't take up much space, but you can set it onto a table, and there are like physical legs that the stand is kind of sitting on. And so you can place that document right in between the legs of the stand, and it holds the device at a perfect distance to capture a full page of text. So it's really been an amazing solution for people that are totally blind, because now there's no more guesswork in as when you're pointing the device.
Right.
So that's pretty neat.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then we just came out with the Read 3. That was about maybe a month ago, maybe a little over. And it works off the same capability as the original Read. The main difference is when you connect it to internet, it's going to use like a computer or a tablet, and it will actually magnify the content onto that device. So you can see your reading content better if you have low vision. If you can't see it, it's still going to read it aloud on the computer. It will read handwriting, and it is spot on with handwriting. So that's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
And
can't even read some people's handwriting.
Yeah, same. So the device is doing really, really well with handwriting. Could read cursive. It does not have to be that neat. It's pretty spot on, which is really cool. And then it can also summarize an article for you too, which is pretty neat.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So it's using AI technology then.
Exactly.
So let's back up and let's find out more about you.
Okay.
Sorry, I jumped right into your profession now, but I want to know how you got to where you are. What nobody just decides one day, hey, I'm going to work with the blind. How did that come about?
Well, I was actually, when I had graduated college, I was working in a sales role. I liked it. I just wasn't very passionate about it. So I started kind of exploring some other options. And my mom actually worked for a vision department in a school. And she was encouraging me to come in and do some observations and check it out. She loved what she did. And sure enough, I did. I went and did some observations with some orientation and mobility specialists. I really, really loved it. And then ended up working in a low vision preschool class one summer just to make sure that was something I was passionate about. And I absolutely loved it. And that's kind of what got me going back to grad school. So I got a graduate degree in blind rehabilitation. And when I graduated, I actually worked for the VA system for about a decade. And so then I made my transition to OrCam about a year ago.
Right. And I think that's where we met, was at Heinz.
Yes.
Okay. So you were working at Heinz, and then how did you get recruited for OrCam?
Well, I worked with the device quite a bit. OrCam is one of the most commonly issued OCRs, or text to speech devices, just because of how well the product is made, the simplicity of it. It's really intuitive, and just started kind of exploring some other roles. I'm was teaching assistive technology for many years, and I have a strong passion for assistive technology, and found the opportunity with OrCam, and I've been with the company ever since.
Well, that's wonderful. So what's next for Corrine? What do you see next? are you going to stay with OrCam, or are you going to jump to something else when something new and better comes along?
You know, Ray, I'm extremely happy with OrCam. It's been a great transition for me, so I am not planning on going anywhere. It's really a great role. It kind of incorporates, what I was doing at Heinz.
Uh-huh.
But I just am working with different people, and my focus, instead of being on like the individuals that are using the devices, I kind of support more of the organizations that are working with the people using the devices.
Right.
So it's just been a different role, and I've been very happy with the role so far.
Well, good. Okay, let's get back to OrCam itself.
Sure.
The newest device is coming out sometime this month, you said?
So the feature on the My Eye, it's going to be on the existing device. We're actually releasing it as a software update.
Oh,
So
okay.
if people have a relatively newer My Eye, they will be eligible to receive that through a software update.
Okay, that's cool.
Mhm.
So they don't have to get a new OrCam. They can just, or a new My Eye, they just update the one they have. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I guess there's going to be a link sent out to everybody to tell them where to get it.
So the way that the software updates will work with the OrCam devices, with the My Eye and the original Read, we've never really had all the features of the device were kind of built right into the device itself. So there was really no internet connection or functionality behind that. You can connect those devices to Wi-Fi. When you do that, it was strictly just for a software update. So that's kind of
Uh-huh.
how the devices will get it. You just connect it to Wi-Fi. This feature does require internet use, and that's the only feature on the My Eye that needs internet to function.
Okay.
All of the other features will still work the same, but if that individual who has a My Eye connects it to their Wi-Fi network, that software update should download automatically.
Awesome. Okay. And somebody was telling me that the My Eye, since it does speak out loud, um, there's a way that you can hook it to your Bluetooth. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. All of our devices are Bluetooth compatible. So you can connect them that way. If you're out in public and you're reading something, you don't have to announce to everybody around you what you're reading.
Right.
They both have built-in speakers, or all three of them, should I say, have built-in speakers. So you don't need headphones with it, but it does work with Bluetooth headphones. Both of our Read devices also have a wired jack option if you wanted to use wired headphones too.
Okay. Well, that would seem a little bulky, I think, having a wire hanging off your head.
Yeah, it could be. It's preference. You
Yeah.
have both options.
Some people like the wired headphones. I particularly don't.
Okay.
But also, someone was asking me, can it tell the difference between a can of pork and beans and a can of um, corn, say,
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the great features about our devices is they're so comprehensive. So again, these are those added features. It's not just for reading. You can, when you're working with products and you're trying to identify products, there's several different ways that you could do that on our devices. But they will be able to, if the device can see the barcode, it will announce the product name automatically. So you would hear the difference between beans or corn that way. If
hmm
you have trouble finding the barcode, you can take a picture of the front of the package. As long as it's printed on the package, it's going to read it that way as well. And
Okay.
the cool thing about the My Eye is, let's say you shop at a store that has its own brand and the barcode is not saved into the device, you can actually program your own recordings. So if it was a can of corn and you buy that brand frequently, you could then make your own recording. And the next time you purchase that same product, it's going to announce your recording.
Oh, okay. Well, that's wonderful.
Hmm.
That makes it a lot easier, whether you're just completely blind or if you're very severely low vision.
Exactly.
Because, like I said, someone who was asking or telling me that they do use their My Eye for that because they can't distinguish between cans. Every
Hmm.
can feels the same to them, and they can't read the labels anymore. So yeah, it's a good thing for them.
Yes.
So what else have you got? Tell me.
Um, yeah. So, as I mentioned, it can do money. And the nice part about the My Eye is all of these features are kind of built in and they're automatic. So when we're talking about like a learning curve as somebody's learning to use the device, they're really, really intuitive. So let's say you had some bills that you couldn't identify. If you kind of hold up the bill in front of your nose, that camera should be able to see it without touching it, without doing anything. It's going to automatically announce the denomination. Works the same way with those barcodes. That way, when somebody can't see the barcode, you can kind of slowly rotate the package in front of your face, is like you're looking at it. And once that camera sees the barcode, it's going to automatically pick it up. So again, you don't necessarily need to do anything or even need to visually find it because that feature is automatic. You just kind of rotate it. So it's really pretty intuitive and easy to learn, easy to use, which is
Cool.
great.
Well, that's
Hmm.
great. I know that takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really something that you can use because all of our devices are really extremely portable. They can all fit in the palm of your hand, in your pocket. So you can really use them. It doesn't have to be, a sheet of paper in front of you or a book. You can use it out in the community. One of my experiences previously, I was teaching orientation and mobility, and I was out on a shopping lesson. The individual I was working with wanted to be able to find the men's department and be able to buy a pair of jeans independently. And he was using the OrCam, and he was able to read the overhead aisle signs in the store to be able to find the men's department. And then he was able to find the sizes and the prices, just, being able to take a picture with the device. So it's not something that you need to necessarily use at home. You have all those added benefits, but because of the portability, you could really take it with you anywhere you go. Those reading functions, as I mentioned, don't require internet. So right out of the box, it's going to work, and it's going to work really well.
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I do have an OrCam My Eye, and
Oh, great.
I shameless to say I do not use it as much as I should because I do have a lot of vision, but not total vision. Anyhow, it isn't benefiting me right now where I need to use it all the time.
Okay.
But when I'm trying to read something in really fine print, it really helps a lot. So I have magnifiers and stuff like that, but they're a little more um, complicated to use, I would say.
Okay.
And the My Eye you just look and it's there, it reads it to you.
Exactly.
I really enjoy it a lot. So if I could, if you have anything you'd want to say to the people out there who don't have one, what would you say to them?
As we've kind of mentioned, we have so many different options right now. With our newer device too, it's got that added benefit of magnification, which we've
Uh-huh.
really never had before. So for people that are kind of on that border on whether or not they need a device that has text to speech, the OrCam Read 3 is a great solution because it's got all of those features that an electronic magnifier would have. So you can magnify something, you can change the colors of the document or whatever you're reading. And then it does give you the ability to save too. So we really have a solution for just about everybody, depending on your vision, depending on what you want to do. And all of the devices can really be used in multiple different ways. Like I mentioned with the hand gestures, you've got vocal commands. We now have a stand that any of the devices can fit in. So if you do have trouble pointing it accurately, the stand is a great solution. So we work with a lot of different VAs throughout the US. So most VAs are pretty familiar with our products too. And one of the greatest things about OrCam is the support. When you get a device and you're learning to use a device, especially when you go through blind rehab training, you might be getting more than one thing. And so it's a lot of, it takes a lot of practice and getting used to. And OrCam has reps all over the United States. So we work with distributors, we work with VAs directly. So every situation is a little bit different, but OrCam is always there to provide some additional support. So if you feel like you've got questions or you're not sure how to use some of the features, we can really work with the individual to make sure that it's meeting their needs and they feel comfortable with it.
Good. That's I love the fact that you guys do that, and it is true. You get so many new devices from the VA, especially when you're new to blind rehab. You're just overwhelmed. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
each one is very beneficial to you, but you you find your favorite and you use it all the time. And it seems like after about 6 or 7 months, you forget everything you learned about the other devices.
Uh-huh.
And so it's just like I said, it's overwhelming,
Yeah,
especially
yeah. A lot of times people, there's not just one tool for everybody. There's going to be multiple things that people are going to need. But what is great about OrCam is because it's so comprehensive, you don't need a device just to identify products. You don't need a device just for money. This is now kind of encompassing everything, which is really great.
right. Now I know that I did get a money identifier. I got a magnifier. I got all
Hmm.
handheld magnifiers,
Okay.
tabletop magnifiers, all different kinds. And it seems like OrCam's really trying to limit the number of devices that you need, and and just make it so much simpler. Is that true?
Exactly, exactly. So it's really they're really trying to be like an all-in-one solution. And that way, because the more devices you get, chances are there's one that you're gonna, put in a drawer and not use so much, just as you were kind of mentioning.
Right.
You get a lot of equipment where, this is really, a lot of things built into one device, which is great.
Well, that's cool.
Mhm.
Well, I guess it has been a pleasure talking to you today, and I hope that the people out there really enjoy this episode. Um, can you tell me anything else maybe we didn't cover that you'd like to get out there?
We covered most of it. I would just, we'll be in touch with most of the VAs and everything regarding the new features that's going to be released. But definitely, if you have an OrCam, connect your device to Wi-Fi, plug it in, leave it on, and hopefully that update will be coming soon. And we will definitely be able to provide, whether it's veterans or the VA, with some resources and ways that they can use that new added feature, which should be great.
Okay. Well, I just want to thank you again, Corrine, for coming on and talking to my audience. And I hope you have a fantastic day, and congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ray. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Well, if you could just stay on the line, I'm going to end the interview here, and I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping.
Okay.
So thank you again for coming on, and just hang in there, and I'll get back to you in a minute.
Okay, great.
All right, guys. Well, that's another episode of The Blind Spot by Ray Morales, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Corinne Nero, she is fantastic. She's a beautiful person, inside and out, and I just want to give her an opportunity to talk today. So that was wonderful. So here we go. I'm going to give you all the rundown. You can reach us at The Blind Spot by Ray Morales at gmail.com. That would be my email address. You can find us on Spotify, on any of the major platforms, but basically Spotify is the one I like best. Um, I'm on Apple also. Just give us a ring if you have questions or you have a particular question you want me to answer on the air. Just go ahead and send it to my email, and I will do that on the next episode. If you have a guest that you think I should interview, why don't you just send that to me in the email, and I'll be glad to get them on. So, again, I'm signing off for tonight, but it's been fun. I appreciate you guys listening. We are up to over 750 listeners now. So let's hit 1,000 before the year's out. Okay. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye now.
When they sent me back to Walter Reed, they sent me to Johns Hopkins, which is a research hospital. I'm sure you've heard of it. And they knew exactly what I had, and they said, she